Good morning and welcome back to another Eduro Learning Live video. My name is Kim, and today I'm going to be talking about 5 reasons why every teacher should be a student. And if you see me looking off over to the side, it's because I have my notes over there to remind myself what I wanted to talk about today. And this is a subject that's really kind of close to my heart because my blog is named Always Learning, and I feel like as an educator, I personally myself am always learning, and I kind of see myself as someone who has tons of opportunities for growth. And so I think this is a really kind of critical element for teachers to have, because our specialty as teachers is learning. And to be great at learning, we have to be learners ourselves. So there are kind of 5 key reasons that I think every teacher should be a student, and I'm going to go through them now. My first reason is to demonstrate growth mindset. It's something we really want to see in our students. We want students to feel like they have the ability, the power, the ownership to be able to become better at things that they need to or want to become better at. So as teachers, we can demonstrate and model that for them by demonstrating a growth mindset in our classrooms and in our personal and professional lives. So we can kind of take advantage of the power of having that growth mindset to see that actually being dedicated and working hard and trying something new can make you better at something. So prioritizing your own self-improvement will give you like the vocabulary and the passion and the interest to help students prioritize self-improvement as well. And it might also change the way you talk about learning, your self-talk, and the way that you talk to students. I know for myself, I kind of grew up not being great at math, and I always thought I would never be good at math. And going through the process of learning how to teach math, actually in Teachers College, helped me understand that actually I can not only understand at least basic math, but I can teach it too. So now when I talk to myself about things that I'm not good at, I often just add that word yet. Like maybe I'm not good at this yet, but I have the power and the ability to improve my skills if I set my mind to it. So I think that being a growth-minded teacher can influence not only the way that you talk to your students, but the way that you talk to yourself and the way that you think about learning. And I think that's a really powerful change and shift in mindset we can make for ourselves and in our classrooms. So that's my first one, to demonstrate and practice growth mindset. My second reason why I think every teacher should be a student is to be a risk taker. It sounds really silly, but in most of our schools, we have kind of learner outcomes or learner profiles, and usually one of them is to be a risk taker. And as teachers, we're always asking students to do new things, to try new things, and to be risk takers. But really, we can be really comfortable in our roles as teachers and being the people who know what's going on, that we don't take those risks ourselves. So kind of similar to the growth mindset idea, like taking advantage of actually trying something out for yourself, trying something new, doing something unfamiliar will remind you what it's like to be a risk taker, and it will kind of activate that like energy within you to help your students be excited about taking risks and trying new things. And I think one of the risks that teachers maybe often are kind of uncomfortable taking is that experience of doing an online class, because that's not the way that maybe most of us have learned, but it's often a way that we're expecting students to learn. We're expecting them to learn in a blended learning environment. We're expecting them to use technology tools for academic purposes, but they really only use them for social purposes. So taking that challenge on ourselves and understanding what it's like to learn in an online environment, and then what we're really asking our students to do, could be a really powerful way to help your students be better in those spaces as well. Okay. My third idea is that we want to learn the way our students are learning. And that kind of comes back to that idea that students are learning in new and unique and interesting ways. They're learning from YouTube videos, they're listening to podcasts, they're creating content for themselves. So try to take an opportunity to learn the way our students are learning and follow your passions outside of class time, the way students are following their passions outside of class time, and try that for yourself. Because we want to be able to guide our students in those kind of learning environments. We want to be able to understand why they're so empowering and interesting for students, why they're spending so much time there. And it's really hard to understand that unless you're doing it yourself. So kind of challenging yourself to be a student in the way that you see your students following their passions, just to see what it's all about. And as an example from myself, I personally, you guys probably already know this, I am really passionate about lifting weights, and I train and compete in powerlifting. And I never, ever understood YouTube and like YouTube personalities before I started applying that in my own personal interest, passion, and hobby. And now I totally get YouTube as a consumer in a way that I never understood it before. Of course, I always used it for educational resources. Yes, everyone knows what YouTube is. It's not that, new and exciting. But now that I'm using it as a learner, I can see how powerful that tool is for our students, especially for pieces that they want to learn about that they don't have available to them, either because of their location or their time that they have to spend in this area, or because of the community they're in. The ability to tap into expertise around the world is something really powerful that is worth knowing about as a person who's interested in their own professional growth or own personal growth. So taking that time to learn the way our students are learning can help you value the way that they're spending time online as well. All right, so that was reason number 3. Reason number 4 is to take your own individual learning journey. I think as teachers, we are always really fortunate to be working in schools where we get provided with professional development. It's great that schools offer us those opportunities. But most times that professional development is geared at a broad audience, probably all the teachers in your division or all the teachers in your building or all the teachers in your whole school. And it's not personalized or individualized for you, exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. And the reality is that we're all in different places as educators and as people. So to be able to take your own individual learning journey, to be able to take the next step in learning for you, you might need to be a little bit more of an independent student to kind of identify what it is that you want to learn and find the opportunities to be able to learn that, and then plan your own growth, try some new things, develop relationships with people, and reflect on that experience. And this is all a learning process we want students to be able to do. So going through it ourselves and really understanding how it works is a really powerful and practical model of learning for teachers to practice on a regular basis. And lastly, my 5th reason why every teacher should be a student is essentially to practice what you preach. We are always asking our students to be better learners. So really our profession is about understanding learning, and we can do that best by being a learner ourselves. So taking the time to practice being a learner is actually a really essential component of being a better teacher. So challenging yourself on a regular basis to learn something new, to really reflect on and understand our own learning on a regular basis as well, and figuring out how we as individuals can get better at our own learning are all ways that we can practice what we preach as educators. So there you have it, my 5 reasons why every teacher should be a student. Number 1 is to demonstrate growth mindset. Number 2 is to be a risk taker and understand everything that involves so that you can kind of share that passion with your students. The 3rd reason is to learn the way your students learn, to really understand the new methods of learning that technology allows us today and kind of connect with that. My 4th reason is to take your own individualized learning journey to be able to take that next step that's exactly personalized and customized for you. And then my last one is to practice what you preach, to really understand how to be a better learner by regularly being a learner. I hope that was relevant and interesting for you. I'm super excited to be sharing all these ideas with you because we are actually launching our new premium online courses coming up in April, and we want you to learn with us by taking one of these courses, and we've got lots of great opportunities for you. We've got courses on coaching, on digital citizenship, on coding, all sorts of interesting topics. So please have a look at the Eduro website and see what's coming up, the opportunities to be a learner at www.edurolearning.com. And thanks for joining me today, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.